Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of NationDan. My name is Daniel, and I'm here with Ethan once more. How you doing?
Yeah, I wonder when you're gonna get another guest, Daniel.
I know, it's, this is the thing. Fuck you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When? That used to be
No.
That used to
If
be
you,
the thing,
if you manage to go to, like, I don't know, okay, how about this? If you manage to go to, like, the, I don't know, 30th episode of broadcast, I will do something for you. What would you want?
I don't know. Ooh, I can't.
And you must be in every single broadcast. If not, that means you fuck up.
Dang, wait. Hello. 30 episodes, working hard, 30 minutes a day minimum, really tired. Pizza party.
Pizza party? You want that pizza party? You want that pizza
party? That.
Alright, guys.
As much as I like that as pizza party, sometimes it just sucks.
Pizza time.
Pizza time.
Pizza time.
Pizza party.
Alright. Today we're going to talk about last time's broadcast was about zombies.
Well, it was questions
about zombies, yeah.
I said we'd come back to the zombie concept.
Yes.
So, like, okay, well, what would you consider, what would you do to have, like, the perfect zombie apocalypse house that can survive in any area?
Oh, yeah, exactly. So,
we'll go on 3 scales. We'll go for a small place.
Can I see your phone? Can you turn it on for me?
Yeah. What did you need?
I'm going to put stuff down, okay?
And write it down?
Yeah, I'm going to write down some stuff. Go to Google for me. So today, what we're gonna do is that I'm gonna write down different scenarios, and we're gonna see how we survive. Okay?
I gotta turn the brightness up because you're gonna go blind.
I know, I'm blind. Okay, leave me alone.
So Daniel, when it comes to making the base, we're gonna pick 3. We're gonna pick your budget. Like
we can do that.
You can't. You're in the city. You're. Who's outside? Fucking kids on drugs, dude. I swear to God.
Okay.
All these kids doing smack.
I'm just gonna put the movies that we know. Okay.
Oh, okay. But like, well, for the houses, we'll do 3. We'll do the minimalistic. This is what we're doing because this is our current situation because we're poor.
Yeah.
We're poor. Then, if we're better off and we move up to like the higher end of middle class, and actually able to afford a nice place and not have to worry like about budgeting for food and all that stuff.
Okay.
And then our rich, God knows the best place ever type of situation where you're just like, man, dude, I have so much money in the world. Why not prepare for the zombie apocalypse? And matter of fact, let's prepare for the alien apocalypse.
All right, I already got it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 scenarios with different zombies, and 3 scenarios with buildings. Okay.
Okay.
Is that good for you?
The 3 different building types.
Okay,
Okay, so let's do the
for the
first.
building is defense. The first thing.
Wait, defense?
Like, what would you do for the defense for the house?
Okay.
And
I did. We'll just do the 3 tiers.
And then, okay, so it'll be defense, your offense, and your supplies.
Resources.
Okay.
Resources.
So we're gonna start with walking zombies.
So like
how would you deal with walking zombies?
Okay, I have to say this just because you brought it up to me. Go outside, see the walking zombie, turn around, just walk away. I hate you for saying that because at the same time you're not technically wrong. You can legit just walk away from all of it. But like if you need supplies, you have to get there. But if you don't need supplies, you just look at it. Okay, kids, turn around. We're just going to take the long way around, okay?
And just walk away.
Just walk away.
Just
walk away. So, for walking zombies...
So, pretty much you're fresh, you're out of the shower, you're just walking to work, and you're like, hey, guys.
There you go. Okay, so, if I'm interpreting how we're answering this. So, if there's walking zombies...
Yeah, walking zombies.
The scenario, if we're not at bait, like, not at a home, we're not at shelter or anything...
Okay. Yeah.
And then there's going to be a scenario for when the walking zombies are attacking the place.
Yeah.
And then the 3 tiers of... Well, we'll get to the housing later.
Okay, so... Let's start, okay, so you said just walk away?
No, okay.
No, okay, so... Okay,
that's a possibility, yes.
Okay,
that's
so first scenario, close areas.
Closed areas with walking zombies?
Walking zombies.
So, closed areas with walking zombies. If it's just me...
No, it's just you. It's gonna be you, but in close areas, yeah.
In close areas, how many are we talking about? Like a lot, a little bit, or
let's just put 10. Let's put 10 then.
10 walking zombies.
10. Let's not make it hard, okay?
And it's an enclosed area. If I have to go through the place, I will do the bottleneck technique where you make all of them come at you one at one.
Okay.
So like I make a confined spot for them that I just like get stuck, headshot them with whatever melee weapon I have. And once that one downs, the next one walks into the area, and I'll keep doing that.
Okay.
I'll keep doing that. If there's no area like that, it's more risky, but you have to like group them up.
Yeah.
So like, say they're all everywhere. You kind of just pick off the sides, so you can go around them, and then take out the stragglers one by one. And then as you go around circle and kind of like close in, but that's if you're in like let's say a bigger room, not like you're not outside. You kind of want to just take them off as they come up to you as quickly as you can, because if you give them too much time, they'll wear you out.
Yeah.
So for walking zombies like that.
All right.
Yeah, closed areas.
Kinda, yeah.
Like
what about open? Okay, now open areas.
Open area. That one I'd probably go with the other method, the second method where you take off the stragglers. If it's like this is all saying like melee weapons. I'm not really prepared for this. I only have the melee weapon. I would do the hit and run tactics. Well, not run because they're walkers. So I like speed walk.
Do you think if you push them in the floor, they will get up really quick?
No, they're slower.
They're like
slow. So if there's open area and there's not a lot, then just go for the kills. If there's a lot of them, you have to cripple a lot of them, so they can't come at you all at once. So if I can't go for the head,
go for the legs.
Go for the leg, knock out a leg. That way they're a lot slower, and you don't have to like worry as much. Because you don't want them to group up like as a bunch, because then you can't kill one out of one. You have to take out a couple.
Yeah.
Or when you take out one, another one has a chance to hit you. So you kind of want to get the stragglers out of the way.
Oh, okay. No,
walking zombies.
Okay.
Method of depending on since these are all just by myself, then I'd have to do that. Another good method would be getting to the higher ground and just having them group up like against trying to climb up to you, and you just get an easy headshot off of them.
Yeah.
Like scenario outside, if you're in an alleyway, or if you're out in the open and there's a shit ton, you don't have the stamina to run around. You can do the alleyway and get to somewhere high. And have them group up in the alleyway and take them out. Of course, an explosive would cripple a lot of them, but it won't kill all of them. Burning it would be fine, I guess.
All right, let's go to the next scenario. Runners.
Fuck.
So.
You're dead.
In a closed area, how would you handle runners?
Runners in a closed area. Unfortunately, for runners in a closed area, you have to trap yourself. I would figure the best situation to trap yourself or run. Because the best way to deal with the runners is definitely definitely one-on-one. You don't want multiple runners at you, because while you're dealing with one, because they're faster, they're going to take longer to deal with, unless you're like incredibly like accurate or lucky. But you have to slow them down somehow. If you can't slow them down, you put as much distance as you can between them. Because so in closed area, I would knock over anything like I try to build like a quick barrier. Just like if there's a shelf, put it over so when they run they trip. Or instead of going straight for the head, I'd go for the legs, and wait until all of them are like crippled, can't run. Now if they crawl fast, that's another issue. Holy fuck, you are in a whole heap of like issues right there. So the next best situation were to be if you were to get into another room. Yeah. That has like those little windows in between. Break the window, and as they're going through it, you can hit them in the head, or close make it so they can only come through that door, and you gotta take it out the first hit. If you don't take it out the first hit, then another one's gonna come up already, and you're gonna already have double the trouble. If you have a ranged weapons are probably the best way to deal with runners, other than finding a way to cripple them or slow them down. You need some sort of crowd control for those guys. A shield. If you were to makeshift shield, definitely would help with that situation. But then again, makeshift shield can only stop what's in front of you. Unless you have like full Juggernaut Modern Warfare armor on, then fucking zombies, they're screwed because Juggernaut armor, they can't bite through that. You can get, like, beat up, like, you can get tired, but if you could just lie on the floor, they won't do anything to you. You just get on top of you, you'd be like, holy fuck. But that's, like, Modern Warfare Juggernaut armor. That's kind of unrealistic for, like, normal people.
What about open areas?
Open areas, runners, holy fuck. I wouldn't say it's worse, but it's harder because there's more areas. You got more running space, of course, but that means there's more, like, chance that multiple can come at you at once, which is, like, a huge issue right there. So, like, open field, you can get attacked from 5 different directions. You gotta, like, the method in Call of Duty, playing zombies, you make them in a train and you take them out on the train. Mm-hmm. If melee weapons, that's gonna be significantly harder, but probably the best thing. Again, you gotta cripple them. You gotta cripple the runners. Yeah. Because that's the one thing that makes them a bigger threat than just a regular zombie. You get rid of the legs, they can't run. The arms, they can't crawl as fast because, if we're going off, like, regular human zombies, if you go crawlers, then holy shit, what the fuck. But regular ones, get rid of the legs. Get rid of the legs. You don't have... If you can get the headshot off without a lot of risk, go ahead and take it. If the risk is too high, go for the legs. Just go for the legs.
Yeah.
Set up traps. Wires on the floor, pitfall traps, something to just slow them down.
They'll trip them, maybe.
Yeah, like where they dig a hole and they put spikes in the bottom of it. Those would work. Sounds like a lot of prep, or putting wire, like thick wires or rope on the floor. Just making it so it's harder for them to get across to you is the best way. So really, if there's prep, they're not that bad. If there's no prep, they're extremely difficult to deal with. Because the prep is what really just saves you in most situations. Like, normal traps and defenses would go against walking zombies, no problem. They'll just walk into the trap and you can easily dispose of them. Runners have a chance of avoiding more traps than other ones, or running into the trap faster, but even then, they're still harder to get through. Just because, they got that extra agitation.
Nice.
And, of course, getting somewhere high if they can't climb. Yeah. If they can't climb, then go somewhere high. Yeah.
Okay, so next ones are voodoo zombies. Voodoo zombies.
What do those do? Which one?
Have you ever seen the Crazies?
Kind of. You gotta refresh me.
For instance, they can still handle weapons, but they're really slow.
Oh, they're just... Oh, like,
so imagine,
like Resident Evil...
Yeah, Resident Evil. You know those slow ones that have the gun? And it goes, boom, goes flying like that? Boom, like that.
So those ones...
they don't bite you, but they kill you.
Since when they're slow, get cover. Get cover.
Okay.
So, enclosed area, get rid of them. If there's only one, then that shouldn't be that much of an issue. You just gotta be careful, because it's slow. You can watch the movements and everything. But if there's multiple, get cover and take them out one at a time. For those ones, you gotta be really cautious just on, like, your area. Surroundings, gotta make sure you don't get covered. You can't make sure that they outnumber you in firepower. If they do outnumber you in firepower, you gotta pick them off one by one and really leave, because they got the range now. They got the range, they got the firepower, and not necessarily the speed. So I figured anything that's fast is harder to deal with. But since when they're slower, if they have, like, leftover body armor type of things on them, like, this is how I picture them as those zombies that are, like, in, like, what's it called, Resident Evil 6, the guys that have the police officers, the SWAT officers that still had their stuff.
Uh-huh.
They're just holding onto a gun and then pulling the trigger, or they're still in armor. They're harder to deal with, but they're slow. So use that to your advantage. You can actually take your time with those ones. But if there's a lot, cover your bases and just run.
All right. Yeah, that sounds... what about open space?
Open spaces. If you could get cover, again, get cover. Mm-hmm. Best thing. But in open space, you want to make sure you're not in the line of sight of multiple of them.
All right.
If you have the drop on them, so stealth always being a good factor, I would consider that some sort of prep. Like, it gives you that special element. Taking them out quietly would be the best way, because they're the voodoo ones, they can pull the trigger of a gun or use equipment. They can attract other ones. So in an open space, that's even worse, because a gunshot can be heard even more. In a building, it get echoed throughout the whole building. Also pretty scary. But I figured you can, when it's in a building, you know where they're going to come from. Open areas, always a scary thing.
All right. Last but not least, Resident Evil.
You're gonna fuck, dude. You're so screwed. You can't Chris Redfield it because he's unrealistically awesome.
Okay,
You
so
can't
there's
Leon S.
three.
Kennedy,
There's three things
bullcrap.
I want you. There's three faces from Resident Evil. The first one, the beginning. So you know how they're slow, but yet they're really dangerous in packs.
Yeah.
So how will you deal with it?
So
Like the start of the zombies from Resident Evil. The
Am
regular.
I prepped or am I not prepared? Do I have equipment?
Let's say you're here in your house right now. The zombie apocalypse start, but Resident Evil 1.
Stay home.
Stay home.
Stay home is a pretty good option. Well, if so, say the Resident Evil zombie apocalypse happens.
So
I'm at the
let's
house.
say stage 1. Stage 1
Stage
from
1, you need to get out of the cities.
Yeah.
Of course, just get out of the cities.
Also, you can't trust anybody though. Either.
Oh yeah, don't trust nobody. Just except for if I have the pre-made plan, I'll go through that. But the main priority would probably get out of the cities. Get out of any populated area as fast as you can without running into others. You don't want to run into others unless you're like searching for them. Stage 1, they're really slow. They're dangerous in groups. If you can take out a group, do it without getting noticed. Like Marvel Top.
Mm-hmm.
Just group burn of grenades. Grenades, unfortunately, like are too unrealistic. They wouldn't kill them, but the fire should.
Mm-hmm.
So like the Marvel Tops. Just gather supplies, get out of the area, and then move on. If prepared, it would be better for everyone to fight if prepared. If they have a gun, if they have ammo, they have some training of some sort. Don't let it spread. All
right.
It's gonna be hard.
All right.
Way too hard.
Okay, stage 2, mutations.
Fuck, dude.
Hey, you never know.
But it's
so for instance,
hard.
let's say I'm only gonna put one of them. That way, it's not that hard. Lickers. You know those lickers, guys?
Lickers, holy fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Those things are fast, they're agile, they got mobility like crazy, they got range. Of course, run if you can, but you gotta learn to trap if you plan on getting rid of it. You don't want to confront it with just the equipment you have. You want to learn those things to a trap. Mm-hmm. Or if you have the necessary firepower to take it off. Like, I was planning on getting like a 22 handgun. Mm-hmm. 22s are really cheap bullets. Honestly, they're the lethal power of it can't really... You can't... If you were to get a headshot with a 22 rifle, you'll only like fracture the skull. It won't pierce it. Because the bullet's so small. I have a 22 bullet somewhere around here. But if I go into combat with that, don't even... Just run. That kind of stuff's meant that just for the human situation or additional I gotta break that glass, I gotta break that window, or I gotta go hunting for animals. That stuff's for that, not for dealing with any zombies. That's for hunting squirrels or something. And then, but if you have a shotgun, if you have a higher caliber weapon, and you have a group,
also make sure aim for the head. Always aim for the head
it's gonna be difficult with the liquor for sure. Because the liquor's just got that mobility. In the games, they're always so hard. And then, since when we're not bona fide badasses like Leon or Chris, or Wesker, or what was that? The guy in Resident Evil 4 with the vest and the magnum? I don't remember his name. But he was a pretty bomb character that shows up for one chapter and dies. Or disappears. He disappears, he doesn't die. I don't think so. Unless you have that kind of training, you don't really want to face a liquor. You don't want to face any of the mutants unless you go in Chris Redfield, the head just splits off and you have a harder to shoot head. But there's still ways of dealing with it. If they regenerate, holy fuck, dude! If the regenerators that they blow off a limb, the limb comes back, you're so screwed. It's just a whole can of worms. Resident Evil zombies are just gonna be way too hard to deal with the longer it goes. That's why they had Chris's team, a specific military unit for taking those things out. Mm-hmm. But civilians, they most likely don't stand a chance at all.
All right, third stage, animal mutation.
The animals, dogs.
Crows, dogs, cats, anything mutated already.
See, that's gonna be easier than the mutated,
because they're fucking...
It's gonna have it in numbers.
Yeah.
It's gonna be better, it's gonna be crazy in numbers, but I figured a mutant dog will be better than a licker. It'll be better than like a mutant. The crows will be better. The crows you can take out the 22. The only issue is when it comes to the animals, if you don't have the element of surprise or distance, you need the ammo. You need to be able to spray and pray for that kind of situation. Because in this Resident Evil scenario, we don't unless we have that thing that in the game that's like the plot armor for the reason we get bit, we don't die. We got like that vaccine. If we don't have that, then we're dead one hit. We're dead one hit. It's gonna be game over for that. You're gonna turn eventually. But the dogs. I figured the dogs would be easier to handle with because they're bigger targets. They're faster, but they're more predictable because they only charge. They can't really they'll charge at you different angles, but it's always straight. So when the charge is the best time. When they'll running,
probably start surrounding you, and then the first one will attack, and then
So when it comes to that, you kind of want to get like the higher ground, of course, the higher ground for the animals. If it comes to the crows, you want to just get inside. Find a way to keep yourself from getting attacked from those. Because despite the fact that they're going to be the weaker of all of them, they're going to be way too hard to hit unless you got like birdshot.
Or a flamethrower.
Flamethrower too.
They come to you, they're set on fire.
Okay,
now, last but not least, have you ever seen the last one?
Which Resident Evil last?
The last one.
Like 7?
The last one. The last movie.
Oh, the last movie where you get the Juggernaut type of ones? You're fucked. You're fucked. Okay, I know when it comes to the movies, they always end up defeating it, but that's plot armor right there. That's so plot armor. There's almost
Looks
no
like a
way
fucking
that a
giant
normal
vampire, dude.
There's absolutely no way a normal civilian, unless you're in like I would say like a red state where the gun laws are less strict. We're in California, so there's absolutely no way a Californian's gonna do this, like get any of this done unless they're in the military already. But like a regular civilian, finding something like the Juggernaut or like the scary stuff from 6, the big monsters, there's no way. There's no way, because we lack this. We will lack the firepower. We'll lack the training. The mental fortitude for most people would already be out the window when the first wave hits.
Yep.
Which is if I were to go back to when you asked me, it was one of those things that I fear, and I said when a situation comes up where I need to do something happens and I freeze. Mm-hmm. That's one of those things where I hope that whenever something scary happens, my mental fortitude holds up. Because if zombie apocalypse happens, I hope I don't break down. Like I don't think I will, but you never know until it happens. And there's no actual way to like kind of prep for that type of situation. For that mental fortitude, I don't watching enough anime ain't gonna do that. Watching enough scary games ain't gonna do anything for you because it never really matches to something real, which is difficult.
Yeah.
But you fight a monster like that, that's almost end game right there, dude. End of the world. If you make it to there, that's not end of the world right there.
You know what we should do? You know how there's 7 days to die? We should build our houses from there and see which one of us can survive more.
Dude, no, remember I ended up making that cheat house.
No, but it has to be cheap.
Like a cheap?
Like a real life scenario. It has to be a real life scenario.
Well, in real life scenario that would work.
The cheap one?
No, because remember what we ended up doing was building the underground base where they'll land on top and just basically cripple themselves and we could finish them off from there.
Oh, okay.
Which in 7 days is almost a foolproof plan. You can repair the floors like nothing.
No, but
in real life that'd be a little bit more sketchy. In real life, it'd be better just go up the high ground because they wouldn't be able to break through the walls unless it's Resident Evil zombies. Normal zombies, the higher ground's the best situation.
Okay. But yeah. Okay, now let's talk about our buildings. How will we defend ourselves?
Okay.
So let's start with defense. How will you defend your... Okay, so no, don't take our house.
No, yeah. I was going to
take our house as a
I was going to go as the 3 tiers. Our current living situation, because we're semi-poor, but we're not, like, in poverty. Mm-hmm. Tier 2 is we're actually well off. We have extra money to purchase little small things that aren't going to be super expensive. And then there's tier 3 where you're just like a billionaire with pocket change. You listen to Billionaire a bunch of times, you actually become one, and Bruno Mars is handing you like $100 bills by the stacks.
Okay, so tier 1 defense. How will you
tier 1, we already have a fence. We'd have to fortify. So we have like they're kind of like it's I want to say like a mastic concrete frame, and then in between it they're like U's and they have like poles sticking out, and then like a bar over it. We'd have to cover a good chunk of the bars.
Yeah.
A little bit, but leave spaces so we can like still like look through them. And we need to fortify the walls in general, and make it a little bit taller. Both gates, we would have to never open, except for the front right here. We can open that one, or we can open the back one, but that gate over there has to stay closed, because that gate is electronic. We can't manually open it unless we like take off the chain and everything. But because that gate's so huge, the fact that it can break would be so much easier, because if it's closed and you get from one side, just open a little bit, you could probably knock that whole gate off. So that gate has to stay closed. We have to like permanently close it, like lock it in place, turn off the ability to open it.
Plank with some of the windows.
Yeah,
plywood.
Plywood. See, the windows over here are almost fine. These ones should be fine because we're lifted off the ground. So if a zombie were to even break the window, they can't climb up here. Unless they got some incredible grip strength.
Unless they're runners.
If they're runners, for sure. Another simple way that happens a lot for houses in more ghetto houses is to have the gate door, like a wooden door, and then in front of the wooden door is that metal mesh door. That's a definite yes for almost any house. Like I'd do that if I was a billionaire. I'd still have one of those. I'd have those nice double doors, and in front of it there'd be like a metal door, or I'd have like a previous barrier door. So like there's a door you get to get to your front house type of thing. But that metal door is helpful, and I'd have it on both sides. So always double doors. Always double door. What was it? So of course build some sort of fence around you. Board up the windows the best way you can, without trapping yourself inside. You always want to be able to go through out a window if you have to escape. Every door on the inside needs to have a lock, an additional lock.
Yes.
So like, you know how you have that regular lock, you need to have another like hatch down bolt lock. So to lock yourself inside and go out a window.
Would have made a hole in the ceiling.
Hole in the ceiling. We actually have skylight. A good thing to have that isn't a defense. I'll get back to it when we get the like supplies or resources. I'll get back to it on there. But a fence, board the windows. Clear. You need to clear some space. Just get rid of a bunch of junk and put it outside.
Outside, just in the front,
just in the front to help. Like, the more distance you could put from your wall and the zombies is a good thing. So like, think of it as what's it called? If there's extra cars outside, that like keys, we can get a key. Just push the car in front of the wall. Push the car in front of the wall and make more like bottlenecks to come through.
Yeah.
Because the more we could get, and then this alleyway though, the alleyway that we have at the house,
lock it, close it,
bolt both sides, but I would kind of keep the center open. That way we can park stuff there and drive in and out.
Or
no
more
problem.
people.
Yeah, more people.
That way it could be like a little.
But you want to have a solid wall. Is like the biggest thing. Solid wall and locks. And I guess boarding the windows. If I were to go to tier 2, so say we move out of this place and we get a bigger wall. Of course, get a more solid, bigger wall. Get stronger locks and all that stuff. At tier 2, I would consider getting cameras and solar panels. Because right now we could probably afford to put solar panels on this place, but it's not our place because it's not our place. So solar panels.
They might die.
And keep
zombie apocalypse. It could be ours.
Keep those portable jugs outside. Oh, I know this is resources. So cameras and automatic lights. So like when motion lights. The motion lights. Go to Home Depot and get those like solar lights, because the more visibility that you have around the place, the better you can see a threat coming.
Yeah.
In the tier 2, I'd probably say we're kind of out of this area in a more like suburbs. So like every neighbor has a house type of thing.
Yeah.
And you're in a private area, cul-de-sac type of thing. So that one shouldn't be that big. And tier 2, I would say try and cover off your community.
Yeah.
Like, find the entrance to the community. If it's like a gated community, find the entrance to the community and cover that. If not, cover off your block and start covering more blocks. Slowly but surely, but you're kind of going to want to have that bigger area.
All right, and if you're rich,
oh, Daniel, if I was a billion, if I was a million billion trillionaire, I'd have. Okay, so my dream.
all my security guards just outside.
No. Even if there's absolutely no, if I don't get any security guards, my house should be like self-sustaining, its own little city that should be fine. I'd have a huge plot of land that would be covered, and then the plot of land has a huge wall that's probably like 7-8 feet tall, like tall wise. But the wall would actually be like a hallway. So think of it as like one hallway going all around your place with the two hard walls on the other thing. So you can run on top. It's like a guard like Great Wall of China guard tower thingy around the house, along with being able to go inside. And then outside those walls are going to be spike pole, not spike poles, but like just the huge bars of I don't want to, they're not called rebar, but like in cartoons they have those metal beams that they drop on like Tom's head, and then he just gets that huge bump. I'd get those and have them placed in in World War in the war they had those
those
spikes.
Yeah, spikes.
It's basically crosses of those things to prevent vehicles from ramming into your building.
Mm-hmm.
I have those placed around my wall too.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd have my house in the center. There'd be 2 to 3 other detached buildings in my house because I'm a billionaire. I'd have like a pool and everything. I'd have my own little water tower that I can collect water. I'd solar panels everywhere. I'd have what's it called? Like poles sticking out of the ground that support little bridges from my walls to my house, so I can legit just like go from up top to anywhere in the place. I'd also have like underground little tunnels, from leading to each place. I have 2 to 3 different types of garages. Oh man, dude, just thinking about it makes me happy. I'm just like,
so
undercar garage. I'd have walls. I'd have pits. I'd have
okay. So now let's change to offense then. Power if you're poor. How will you stage 1 then? Poor.
Spikes.
Spikes.
Wooden spikes, wooden pikes type of
Just
stuff.
go to a tree,
Just for when it comes to being like poor defense, you want to get as much of like cheap stuff you can, like makeshift anything. If you can get a stick, turn it into some sort of pokey stick, that'd be fine. Just a pokey stick, and just put them on your walls. And then you want to have multiple that you can get rid of, so you can just like go out on offense. For house being an offense, you kind of have to have a lot of like makeshift traps.
Mm-hmm.
That's more defense. If I was going on the offense, I would have to do like a lot of, so being poor, like the poor tier, doing offense, you'd have an incredible amount of melee, and then bows if you can, but bows are also still somewhat kind of out of there. I would consider that like mid and poor tier. And then I guess high tier if you get like a badass.
All right.
But like it'd be crazy melee, and then my default, if it's just me, my default going out is some sort of shield and some sort of spear with a sidearm blade and a sidearm blunt. And then if I get a gun, then a gun too. But that's emergencies only. You never really want to use guns unless you have the resources to like prevent an increasing horde.
All right, then it's been already 34 minutes. Yeah.
Really?
And yeah, it's been already 34 minutes. And I know you guys want to keep hearing because we're not even done yet. We're barely on offense. So please, guys, if you'd like to see part 2, please, just comment down below. Or usually Ethan was the only one talking because I was like, oh, fuck, he has a better idea than me. I love how you come up with all this. I
spent too much time as a kid thinking about zombies.
Hey, me too, man.
too much time.
Too much.
I plan on taking over the middle school because the middle school had like instead of having those like wire fences that you can easily climb over, I had like barred fences, and I was just like, what in the hell? This is dope.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoy this broadcast. We'll